Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Hope that you've had a great 4th of July weekend. I also hope that you've been retaining your energy and hopefully transmuting it into something that not only benefits yourself, but also raises the collective vibration of the planet as a whole. So today let's talk about stealing thunder. So what that concept entails is taking a perceived trait, quality, or characteristic about yourself and that others might be perceiving as being negative. It doesn't mean that it actually is. Others might perceive it as so, and you're reframing it to your benefit. So let's take the example of bowling. Let's say you're going to go bowling with a group of friends, and you know that Frank is a fantastic bowler, and you know that you're not a very good bowler. And you also know that when it becomes apparent that you're not a very good bowler, Frank is going to make that known to the group to put you down. So you're going to say something like, I'm down to go bowling, but I sure hope that we have the bumpers up. Okay? That steals the thunder of Frank. That prevents him from making a comment that has any real energy behind it, because everyone already knows, according to you, that you're not the best bowler. Okay, then it's also known that it's not a big deal to you. You're fine with not being a good bowler, and it doesn't affect you. Okay, so that's one example of stealing thunder. Another example would be, let's say that we have two different cultures. Okay, we have European culture and we have United States culture. Here in the United States, we have a set drinking age, 21. And you're not allowed to go out and buy alcohol, you're not allowed to consume alcohol until that age. There's no exposure, but once you hit 21, you're out to go, you're good. Okay? And as a result, statistically it's shown that we have an incredible level of alcoholism and alcohol abuse, as opposed to, let's say, European culture, okay, where they may have a drinking age of 16 or 18 or whatever it may be out there, but there's typically some familial exposure to it as the child is growing up under the bumpers of the family. Okay, that way it's introduced to them in a responsible setting. The parents know and the family knows that the child is going to be exposed to it regardless. But hopefully by doing it under their terms, rather than by just being exposed through society, it will reduce the negative effects. That way the parents are stealing the thunder of, I guess, society to make sure that the child does not behave in an irresponsible way or get into trouble. So that way stealing the thunder is in a good way. So I'm going to give you another example, okay? Let's say the parents are at work. Mom and dad's at work, okay? And the kids need to be occupied with something. And so the parents allow access to a specific app. And this app, the mascot is a mouse. I think that we all know which app we're talking about. And the parents know that, that while they were growing up, that a lot of the content on this app is fine because they were exposed to it as children, and it's been good. But now there seems to be some sort of agenda or an ideology that is being pushed in this app that a lot of parents might not necessarily want their kids exposed to. It's not that the parents don't agree with anyone that orients themselves to any of the ideologies or content that are on the app. They just don't necessarily want their children exposed to it. But it's out there. So what is to be done? You can unsubscribe from the app. You can prevent your child from access to the outside world. And then when they get older, they're going to be exposed to it from somebody else other than the parent, because it's out there now. So one way to steal the thunder is for the parent to introduce this sort of content the way the parent deems fit. That way, again, we're in sort of a stealing of thunder, so to speak, where there's no denial that this content or this ideology is available to the child, but instead of waiting for the child to go to school and to be introduced to it by a teacher, or to somebody that might have a different frame of reference than the parent has, the parent is going to go ahead and expose it to them the way the parent wishes. So the reason why I bring that up is I had a couple of friends recently that became aware of some content that was on this app that they necessarily didn't want their children exposed to. And again, it's not that they themselves were against it or anyone that is living a specific lifestyle. They just wanted their kids to focus more on being creative and developing their imagination than putting any form of awareness or energy to this. And so my recommendation was to, as the child grows up, the way that they deem fit, to expose it to them the way they wish. That way as well, let's say for example, the child goes to school and is introduced to this content and by, let's say, a teacher or by a friend or something, and is warned, well, if your parent disagrees with this stuff, then they are this or they are that, or they're not good people, okay? This way, when exposed to it by somebody else, they already have a frame of reference. And it prevents the children as well from developing any sort of negative energy or emotion towards people, I think, that might exhibit these ideologies, and might cater toward this content. I think that the more that we sit down with our children and talk to them and expose them to this in a way that is conducive to society as a whole, to where we can be very accepting of everyone, but again, the power still resides with the parent rather than others, I think, is the main key. So I hope this video has been helpful. If it has, please give it a thumbs up. Please comment and subscribe. I'd like to hear your points of view on this topic, and we'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.